I've seen this entire company get built right in front of my eyes. I've seen Raja Dhaliwal come in as a training associate, talking to him when he was in licensing, to having 10,000 licenses on his team in Canada. I saw Daniel Fombo come in and become like a marketing director MVP, and 9 years later make $10 million a year. And I've seen a lot of other people too, 3, 4, 5, 7 years in, make a couple $100,000, replace their income, quit engineering. I've seen single moms get out of their grind, come here, make $150,000 a year, hire some help at home, take their kids on a couple trips a year. I've seen it all. But I'm just so proud everybody's on this call. I just got a couple of things I want to share with you, a slide, and then I want to finish strong. And I want to get into it because I've been known to get long-winded. Listen, I got a lot of things on my mind right now, but this is the game plan for next year. Okay. I just made a list with check marks of all the states that we have licenses in. And right now, I'm going to add this up later, but I think we're in 15 or 20 states right now. My great friend, Josh Gettig, taught me many moons ago that there's not 52 states, there's 50. And I appreciate him for that. And that's something that I'm always going to be grateful for him for. We're going to attack all 50 states by the end of next year. We're going to get into every single one. Here's the game plan. By the end of next year, we're going to be over 200 licenses in the hierarchy down in the US. 200. We're going to go from 26 to 200. You can get licensed in 3-4 days down there. Next up, we're going to promote 5 to 10 senior brokers. Colton mentioned it. This is my philosophy on building teams. You build leaders and teams will come. You build leaders and teams will come. We are building leaders. When I heard Eric talk today, all I could think about is, man, that dude's going to be a leader here. When I heard Ruth's one of my favorite people all time. I just got to say, I just love Ruth, right? All I heard was leader, leader, leader. We are building leaders because when you become a leader in the business, your life starts to change. When you become a leader, you start to change other people's lives. We're going to build 7 to 10 SMDs next year. We're going to promote 5 to 10 new ring earners. Well, you got to decide. Are you going to be one of the senior brokers? Are you going to be one of the 6-figure earners? And lastly, my favorite part of my business plan is our goal next year is to help over 400 families. And with 400 families, there's over 400 million people in the US. We're going to help 400 families. But that's 1 million points. We're going to run 1 million points next year. And that's just year number 1. And we got a 5-year game plan, and it's epic. And it's epic. And everybody on this call has an opportunity to be on the front line. Everybody on this call has an opportunity. See, I did a meeting like this many years ago in Western Canada for 6 people. And I talked about the vision, and I talked about where we're going to go, and I talked about how great it's going to be when all the 6-figure earners, all the senior brokers, and out of that meeting that had 6 people, 2 stayed. And from those 2, there's been over 900 people licensed in this hierarchy. And everything we talked about happened. About 4 years ago, my mentor and great friend, Ed Milet, said, if you want to make history, you got to get to Ontario, and then you got to get to the US. So we started with Ontario, and we did a meeting, Kyle and I. There was 2 of us, and then 5 of us, and then 2 of us, and then 8 of us. Ruth, does this sound familiar in the US? Right? Then 4 of us, then 2 of us. And then we had a meeting one day with like 8 of us. And I said, this is what's going to happen in Ontario. This is what we're going to build. And from that, hundreds of licenses have come from that. And Ontario is an unstoppable force of nature. Fastest growing part of our team. And now we're building in the most fertile soil land you could ever possibly imagine, with mass population, mass opportunity, and there's just hunger. People are hungry to build. We will build a massive hierarchy in the US. Last update, it just updated. I'm not sure if you guys saw it online. We're the number one team in Canada right now. Number one out of 20,000. We're number two. We're number one base shot. We're number two team. We're in the top 10 right now in the US on the leaders bulletin. Top 10 in the US in the leaders bulletin for super base and or base shot. Top 10 right now. We're just getting started. Josh Gordy's just cutting his teeth. He's just cutting his teeth. He's just a little baby here. He's just getting rolling, right? Karma's just still knee-high to a grasshopper. She hasn't even hit her WFG puberty yet. She's just getting rolling. We are just getting started. But I want to share with you, if you really want to lean in here, there's 8 non-negotiables. I want you to write these down. Number 1, you got to figure out what your next step is in the system progression. And I added this because Carmen said hers is MD. I don't know about you, but I got goosebumps when she said that. You don't want to know why? Not just because it's MD. It's because for her, that's her next step. She's focused on it. As soon as she said it, I said, holy crap, she gets it. She gets it. What's your next step? What's your next step? What are you chasing? Because if you're not chasing something, if you're not after something with a deadline, see, she said MD by Edmonton. MD by Edmonton. Next step with a date. Next step with a date. I said, hallelujah. That's what it takes to win. Number 2, you got to go to work on booking the appointments. You got to put in the work. This is not just a wish it happened. I hope it happens. Maybe they're going to walk into maybe they're going to knock on my door. And I just be like, hey, do you want to buy insurance? No, you got to reach out to people. You got to put in the work. You got to book the appointments. Number 3, take your trainer on 8 to 10 meetings and then master it. Take them on 8 to 10 meetings and then master it. We have the training. We have the leadership. We have the example now. We got Nate in our back pocket. We got the recordings. Take your trainer on 8 meetings and then master it. Number 4, focus on hitting your monthly nut. See, squirrels here in Canada, they gather nuts and they nest them for the winter. What's your monthly nut? How much do you need to make every month to survive? You should have a standard for money here. Even if you're not here for the money, money matters. It sells yourself the dream. It sells other people the dream. Other people are here to make money, right? A business needs to turn profit. What's your number? $2,000 part-time, $3,000, $5,000. What's your number? Write down your number. It might not be enough to replace your full-time job yet, but what's your number? You're never going to make an amount of money if you don't write it down. I didn't start making $10,000 a month by accident. I didn't start making $50,000 a month by accident or even $1,000 a month by accident. Everything was by design. You don't just hang around long enough and money starts to come. You got to go and get it. You got to go and get it. You got to set the intention and then you got to go and get it. Number 5, you got to show up to training with a purpose. I loved how Josh said this. You got to get to training, guys. It's so easy to do. It's so easy not to do. Don't have the mindset of, I'll be there unless anything gets in the way. Nothing gets in the way of me coming to training. Nothing. The only thing that would get in the way of me in training is if my family member of mine was in trouble. Somebody was in trouble that I had to be there. Other than that, this is game night, baby. What would keep Tom Brady from playing football on Sunday? Major emergency, or himself being in the hospital. Same with me, right? I want you to come to training with a purpose. Show up ready to learn. Bring your teammates. Bring the energy. Comment on the chat. Come with a purpose, right? Don't be a passenger. Start to be a driver. Number 6, own the product. Man, sharing. We're sharing. We're not selling. I did that. I added it up today. I've had 5 teammates pass away already. 5. I have a teammate that you know very well, and you'll find out who it is. I know I have a teammate very well. Their partner just got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease yesterday. A very well-known member of the team that everybody knows. Their partner got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. But they're fighting because they have insurance. They're going to be okay. I hope you own the product. I hope you have the right amount of insurance. I hope you believe in what we do. Number 7, there's no shortcuts. You want to make money, you want to win big, You want to do it, right? You got to put in the work. This is not a shortcut business. You're not going to recruit one person and get lucky. You're not going to find one leader and override them the promised land. This is not Amway. This is a real, legitimate opportunity for you to change your business and change your life. And number 8 is simple. I want you to have a plan to be and go all in. What's your all-in plan? What does that look like? I asked a guy today at mentorship call. I said, what's it going to take to get you all in here? And we had a plan to get them all in. See, I'll tell you right now, you guys, this business is worth your best effort. This opportunity right now is worth your best effort because I've seen it. I've had a front row seat first to see WFG US be built. Then I watched WFG Canada get built from 2,000 licenses to 20. My whole career, I have never been more excited than the next 5 years building down the US. I can look you in the eye, on my kids, on my wife. I have never been this excited for what we are about to build south of the border. Never. I dream about it. I have a meeting in 2 weeks with an immigration lawyer from the US. What do you think that meeting's going to be about? I could live in Calgary my whole life, or I could also have a place next door to Josh in Phoenix. This team is going to look nothing like it does today. It's going to look nothing like it. Nothing. I hope you have plans to stick around. Some of you, men and women, are going to be on the front line of what we're about to build. Front line. All my frontline leaders that got into business with me and stayed frontline, they're all making multiple 6 figures. Some of them are mortgage free. Some of them have saved millions of dollars. We will have over 1,000 licenses in our team in a few years down there. There'll be over 1,000 licenses. And can you imagine running your downline report, being like, man, we got 87 licenses in New Jersey. And I've never even been in New Jersey. Maybe I should head there. I got 104 licenses in Boston. I got to go check out the Chowder. Go to a Boston game. Man, I got more licenses in states than I've ever been. I'm like, where's Maryland? I had to Google it today. I'm like, Indiana. I was like, is that where Indiana Jones is from? I mean, I got licenses in states I've never been. Some of you on this call are going to have 50, 100, 200, 300 licenses in your downline in the next 3-4 years. And those of you that stick around and align yourself with our team and use the system like Josh laid out, you'll be rewarded. I can't promise you how big, I can't promise you how long it's going to take, but I can promise you one thing. If you stay and you have some faith, you will be rewarded. I've seen this entire company get built right in front of my eyes. I've seen Raja Dhaliwal come in as a training associate, talking to him when he was in licensing, to having 10,000 licenses on his team in Canada. I saw Daniel Fombo come in and become like a marketing director MVP, and 9 years later make $10 million a year. And I've seen a lot of other people too, 3, 4, 5, 7 years in, make a couple $100,000, replace their income, quit engineering. I've seen single moms get out of their grind, come here, make $150,000 a year, hire some help at home, take their kids on a couple trips a year. I've seen it all. So now is not the time to get distracted. Now would be a really good time to take inventory of all the things that you have in your life that's distracting you. And by the way, your spouse is not a distraction. Please don't tell your wife that I told you that she's a distraction. I'm going to get a really angry email. I'm talking about all the things that you do that don't serve your life. I'm talking about all the things you spend time on that doesn't move you forward. I'm not talking about compromising your faith, your family, your fitness. I'm talking about eliminating all the things in your life that have been distracting you. It's not time to be casual with your attendance. This isn't time to be picking and choosing what training you come to. That's not the season that we're in. We're not in the season of taking risks on when you can and can't afford to be in training. That season's behind us. We're moving. We're on the move. And if you could be involved in some of the conversations that I've been having with our founder, like Rich Dolly, Ed Milet, man, Ed and I talked yesterday. He's just so excited. He's so excited about the future of our company. He's on the phone with the executives from Aegon. He's getting he's bringing money in from Aegon to expand WFG. If you guys knew how big this thing is going to get, I promise you, you'd move quicker. You don't have to have my vision. You don't have to even have my ambition. You have to have a vision for your life and what you want out of this. And while we're building it, guess what? We all get to build it together. We all get to be a part of the same family and the same team. We get to laugh together. Sometimes we're going to cry together, right? We're going to compete together. We're going to win together. Some months we lose together. But as long as we all stick together, everybody wins. Everybody wins. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm more in the game than I've ever been before. Don't worry. I'm tending to my family and I have time with my kids and I'm coaching my son's hockey. And so I'm not forgetting about my responsibilities at home. This is not one of those things, but my wife and I have never been more in the game than we are today. Never been more in the game than we are today. So this is not the end. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of a new chapter. So I appreciate you guys. Let's go dominate. All right, let's be the team that everybody's talking about down south of the border. We'll talk to you guys later. We'll see ya. Thanks, guys. If you like this training, make sure to watch this next one because I know you're going to love it.